Boom. We're in here with 504 MTG magician Jody Keith,
Hey,
beast on the SCG circuit, and you've got a couple Grand Prix top eights, Legacy and Modern, yeah? Or two Legacy?
yeah, Legacy and Extended, the old Extended, which you might remember to be the modern form is Modern now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so welcome in, fam. Much love, Trap here. Welcome in, fam. Much love, Jody here.
Much love, Jody here.
Yeah, so Jody is one extreme eternal specialist, and you play kind of specializing in prison lock decks, really. Control.
Control in prison.
Control in prison, yeah. But and yeah, Jody's a great player, also coach of the mastermind. Our program also does his own coaching. I know you coach people on like how to play lands better, a real niche, focus specific decks and stuff like that. And we met through Donald.
Yeah, Donald Smith. Yeah, that's a Louisiana boy. That's where I'm based. I'm out of New Orleans, and he's from right up the road. So yeah, he was a previous coach in a mastermind group before he got too good, and they took him over in Wizards.
Yeah, it was crazy watching him blast off. Like, he was not really anyone. No one knew him. He applied to join the mastermind, and I saw that he was a silver pro, and it just 6-0'd his draft. So I thought, what the hell, let's take him in. Next pro tour, we test together. He top eights. Suddenly he's a gold pro. It's like, all right, let's have you start doing some coaching calls and like share how you've done this so fast. And yeah, he's awesome at limited. And when he moved on to Wizards, I was interested in who would take his spot. And he, you do different things than him.
Definitely.
But you kind of stepped up for that spot. And yeah, I wanted to invite you to kind of share your story and at the end give some advice.
Great. Okay. Well, I guess we'll start off in the beginning. not to get too long-winded, but I started playing Magic a long time ago.
5-10-minute version.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I started playing Magic a long time ago, and I would say competitively in Mirrodin when Mirrodin was the first Mirrodin go round. And I always really liked control decks, and it started off just from losing from control decks. So I found what I liked, and I got into it. And one thing that I always had trouble with was control mirrors. And then I got good at the control mirrors, and it was like I really enjoyed prison decks. So I found that Eternal formats had more to that style. Nowadays Magic's more about attacking. It's not as much about spells, and there's not a lot of locks in constructed standard. So I usually fall back on the Modern and the Legacy for that. I play lands and Legacy, and it's a lot different now than it used to be. Used to be you would win only by prison. There was like one creeping tar pit to kill with, but now you can combo. So it's opening the strat up more, and going back to the whole Donald, watching him grow, he got down on a lot of aggro, and he was coaching in the mastermind. And I really like now doing the mastermind because not only do I have this niche, but I have this extensive knowledge of Eternal formats, which is really important in Eternal formats, is knowing all the cards that are available to you, all the cards that people could possibly be playing, and finding the tools for the right metagame, which is really cool. And growing in this group, I learned a lot just while I'm coaching. It's been a really good experience for me becoming a coach and doing this coaching and also streaming. I've learned a lot teaching other people what I already know and formulating it into words. You really don't realize until you have to explain it to someone exactly why these things that we know are truths in a way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So this has definitely been a good, the mastermind's been great for me. And I actually used to want to be a teacher.
Really?
So I fulfill that. Yeah, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a teacher. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to make any money being a teacher, but it's not really the point of it. The money is not really where it's at. And so it's cool being in the mastermind, seeing everybody put the results. Every week somebody's making the finals of their PPTQ or winning their PPTQ or, top 8 in the Grand Prix. And it's really insane.
All qualified some amateurs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. All unqualified amateurs just getting better and better and better week in and week out. And I'm learning stuff from them, because everybody is collective in the group, putting it together. I mean, and we're all focused. That's the best part. Everybody's trying to get better. And that's the only way to get better at this game is to play with better Magic players. I learned that early on. Whenever I couldn't win a draft, an hour away, I would drive twice a week to learn how to draft because that town had the best drafters. And that got me better and limited and overall fundamentally better at Magic. So, it's been really good. I feel like I've, grown a lot as a player just from coaching. I've been tearing it up this year, Trav. It's been great. It's been a great year.
I know. I've been betting on you to get on the train. It hasn't happened yet, but I think definitely possible for you.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, but you're also more on the SCG circuit, right? I mean,
yeah, it's easier to travel to the SCG. I love Grand Prix. I'm going to one soon in Seattle, but the problem is traveling that far, getting the days off work. I'm about to go full time with this whole thing, and
that's awesome.
I'll be on the train. If I hit a Grand Prix a month, it's going to happen. Persistence and definitely staying in the game and doing the research and putting the time in, being committed. I mean, I've been committed this whole time, but now actually being able to, I just haven't focused my attention on the tournaments to get me on the. Keep me on the train. I don't grind pro points, but that's about to change. So
yeah, it's worth it. I mean, even if I'm not doing it now, like that, the chapter in my life going full-time Magic and traveling and pro tour, grew so much through that and figured out.
Yeah, and all the connections you make.
It's not necessarily manifest forever. Yeah, but you're able to travel and make all these connections, have network across the globe, and you can go try out other things at that point. And then, it's just a great place to be in life that leads to a lot of options. Like if you want to keep doing the Magic thing, you can do that, but it lets you kind of explore, like you said, want to be a teacher. Well, what if I want to volunteer with kids and teach them how to play Magic or, work in the garden with them and stuff like that? It's possible.
Yeah.
I think that the sort of Magic pro lifestyle, I don't think it's a good, do this forever, but it's awesome how it can set you up to see so much of the world or in entrepreneurship and build your brand and ultimately get to try their lives if you want to.
And the travel's great. I'm really excited to, actually learn and manage travel to where I can actually travel while I'm and be efficient at it, and be in different cities every week. I've seen you bounce around. Oh, I'm here. I'm going to the next spot. I'm going to the next spot. And it's that's another thing I can learn is efficient, cost reductions and, making it to where it's easier to see more of the world.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little burnout on travel now because I did so much of it, but I'm so thankful for the Pro Tour showing me Europe and Japan and Mexico and all across the US and all the people I made, definitely worth it.
Definitely. Well, this has been a great opportunity for me. Definitely, I'm glad that I linked up with you through Donald. I actually will take it back. When you came up with Lebanon, I remember being at one of my first Pro Tours in Pro Tour Amsterdam, and you were playing Lebanon, and I was like, oh, man, Travis Wu, that's the Lebanon guy. And that's one of my decks I play. I like to play, kick it back. I know we talked about it before a couple of Grand Prix.
You won an SCG Classic with it.
That's what jumped it all off. Yeah, I won the Classic and got the computer to start streaming.
That's falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been all up, downhill from there. Uphill.
Throw back
downhill.
to my story. I had the gig with Channel Fireball-ish, but I didn't have a computer. So I took the bus out to my friend's house to set it up so I could borrow his computer for an afternoon. I paid him for it. Paid him $20. Recorded a series of videos to get me $200 or $400. then used that money to buy the computer, and then from the computer started doing the full-time streaming and the
Nice.
YouTube. Like those were some of the steps.
Yeah, it's been a big learning experience, learning how to build off of little things into the next thing, and not everything being, prescribed. This is the way to do it. It's nice exploring and, showing some entrepreneurship and growing like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll figure it out. Like you're doing the streaming, mastermind, you've got a writing gig now. Where is that?
It's going to be on 504mtg.com. Starting a team up. I just signed on their team. It's a good friend of mine. He owns an online store. He's got all the good prices on the singles and everything. You got to check him out, 504mtg.com. And, he's starting an esports team. So he wants me to be front and center captain of it. So being a friend of mine, I'll give it a shot. Also, he's going to give me a writing gig. So that's a part of content that I have not explored yet. I'm not really great with words. I don't feel like I'm a wordsmith of any kind. I'm an avid storyteller, but portraying it in words, I'm kind of a perfectionist too. So I'll lose my mind trying to write. It's hard for me. So it's going to be a good experience trying to master it. Try and get good at it. See if I can find a voice in that medium.
Yeah, and you'll be good. I mean, doing the multiple things, just my advice is like, it's always good to be diversified, especially if you're not owning the ship, like,
right.
From my own experience, like you can lose, you don't want to lose your one client. And, even owning one thing is kind of risky. It's like, so if you're doing the writing and the streaming and the coaching and all the various things, like you could lose one, but you're good. So
right. Yeah, it's cool. And reach more people. Like I said, having this, passion to teach people, and doing so, also learning from people, the more people I can reach, the more I can learn myself, and that's the best part. Every game of Magic, learn something new. Every interaction, learn something new. And it's like I've been playing this Lands deck. That's the thing. I've been playing Lands deck for 6-7 years, and I never get tired of playing it because every time you play it, it's so complex. You get the board states that you've seen before, but the decision trees, every match, if I lose, like some people get salty when they lose. It's like I don't really get salty when I lose. I get a little disappointed in myself that I could have played a little better, because there's so many lines, and that's kind of what has driven me mostly in Magic is just wanting, self-improvement is the thing, So and that's what I really like about the mastermind group is because everybody's really there in one spot trying to get better, and they're on the same wavelength. We don't have to, do small talk and find out what do you want out of Magic because we already know and we're on the same wavelength, which I think is very important. I've been tearing it up with the team tournaments, recently with Todd Stevens and other teammates, and we won that one open with Tom Ross before he went to Wizards, and that's one thing that I always feel is the wavelength of being on the same wavelength with the people that you're working with. Really adds a lot to it outside of just playing the cards. So
you get to choose as being one of the top Eternal players in the world, really, because the pros aren't special. I mean, the Pro Tour pros aren't specializing on that. Well, you are. That puts you in a strong bargaining position where you can choose the standard and modern players if you want.
Yeah, it's a good spot. I'm looking for a team right now. Getting it all together for a couple Grand Prix, a couple events. I'm looking at some things, but yeah, definitely. I've actually for the RPTQ, I'm qualified being bronze for the team, and I've had people hit me up there like, "Listen, I don't care if you don't play standard.
Oh my God.
We want to carry you to the Pro Tour."
Yeah,
just because we want you in the legacy seat. Yeah,
and I love that attitude that you think you can actually win every match. Most people don't believe that.
I think every match is winnable. I mean, you could definitely. And Legacy, especially because the sequencing, like it doesn't matter the cards all that much. Like if you can guess the cards, that's one thing is like from playing so much. Also, a deck like Lands is very awesome in that way. It's unique, very unique in that way. that most of the game is played on the board because you empty your hand so fast or whatever, or all the resources and lines are in play because they're lands. And so you don't have a lot of tricks. So, you know, having to read your opponent and make the most tricks out of not that much, you know, it really adds to another level on the game than what is there at face value.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, really excited the trajectory we're on right now with the mastermind and the.
Some other decks. You know, almost lantern deck.
What's that?
Were you streaming with that tonight?
Oh, tonight the Lanternless Lantern deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that deck. I almost won the Classic last week with it. I top 8'd. I went undefeated in the Swiss, and it's a deck I just found online as a 5-0. Just put it on my stream. It just did everything that I like in a deck. It's a prison deck. The deck's real good. I've seen other people playing it. A lot of 5-0s. A lot of people winning with this deck.
Oh my god!
If this deck takes over in the format, it's just so slow.
Many decisions. So much tutoring.
So much
many
tutoring.
one-ups.
So much shuffling. So much one-up.
So
many
much
one-ups.
tutoring.
Yeah, it's insane. The decision trees, like you just look, Trav, you got a hand with an expedition map. You have the expedition map in play. It's like, okay, this expedition map could be anything in my deck, given time. Like, should we go get the Talaria West and then transmute it for the Academy runes and get back the expedition map? You know, it's just so deep. The deck goes so deep, and then like you also have to stay alive at the same time. So you have to like gauge between how deep you can go while also defending yourself. And with so many tutors, it's, I don't know.
It looks like insanely fun. It makes me want to hop on, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should try it. You should try it, definitely. It's definitely fun. And I don't know. I think it's very competitive, but, man, it's a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But, hey, you got to work hard if you want to, you know, get the win sometimes.
Where a lot of the edges are in Magic is just playing like new complicated stuff that people don't get. It's like that deck might not have tricks in hand, but like the tricks on board.
The on-board tricks, yeah.
Complicated. It's not like, I mean,
well,
it's hard to play on board at times.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like that's a big part of Magic, you know, like derived information. You know, some information. The big facet of Magic is being able to discern what's going on the board, you know, and understanding the interactions and complexity of the board at, you know, as it stays. So, you know, one little change, you know, and you might have had this one thing lined up for this situation, and that's what I like how Stacks decks and Prison decks in particular, they pile it on and it's slow and it creeps, you know. And people might be focusing their attention on this one thing. It's like, oh, I can get, you know, a disenchant for this thing, but then they don't get out from underneath the next thing, or they have to change, you know, their line of thinking from just adding one thing to the board, and it could just be something as simple as a Ghost Quarter, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that just changed the whole game, and people won't see how much that impacts the line that they were on, and people aren't used to like thinking like, not only is it hard to play as a player, but playing against it, they don't have the thinking. They're not used to those lines of thinking, and you know, trying to defend themselves against or trying to be aggressive or get through, you know. So unless you're ready for it, which is why I love whenever you play mirrors of that variety. Like I played a Lantern. I played against Lantern tonight on the stream. It was great.
Oh my God.
You know, it was great.
Sounds awful.
That's what everybody says, but it's like, man, this is going so deep.
Oh my God, how do you even win?
Natural decking, bro. Natural decking.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Camuras.
Oh, that's the broken card. Yeah, but you got the Ghost Quarters flying.
Yeah, and you got the Ghost Quarters. And it was only a fair fight because they were on the Ghost Quarter list themselves of Lantern. It wasn't the Whirl list. So, yeah, it was insane, you know. And you know, I like that just because it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's like, because once you've had so much in these matches, you know, I don't know. I just like playing the long games and long tournaments. You take it to a Grand Prix, you're playing 15 rounds. You know, that's a feat. You know, it's a challenge to myself.
It's fun though. You know, one of the beautiful things about it is it's so complicated. It demands all of your attention, right? You're not daydreaming. You're not ruminating. You're not stressing about things outside of the game in the tournament when you're doing that. And it's really nice to have that outlet to get some presence. And I'm missing that at times. Like, take for granted how complicated and demanding it is. And then when you do other work, maybe the other work's more valuable in certain ways, but like it's hard for anything to really rival the complexity. So I find like when I'm do other things, I have all this extra mental space to for
Yeah.
repetitive thoughts or just daydreaming and so on. But like when I play
Yeah.
Magic, and especially tournaments, that's when I'm really like I'm forced to focus, and I find that really nice, you know.
Yeah, as well said. Yeah, definitely. That's me sitting in my cubicle waiting on that to be over with. You know, it's like these mundane tasks going over and over, and it's like, man, if I can just get it all in one spot, some deep thought, and you know, learn some more stuff.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself.
Jody,
Challenge
what would
yourself.
you? Yeah, challenge yourself. What would you say to someone who's listening who they want to top eight events? They want to top eight GP. Maybe they want to do their own thing. Like you've really done your own thing. People don't think like prison decks are good most of the time. But what would you just say to someone who's just trying to do it their own way, but trying to top eight, win tournaments?
Doing their own thing. Yeah, if you want to top eight and win doing your own thing, find out that you need to make sure that your thing is something that's powerful enough. You know, or you where I really shine on these decks that I play that are off the wall, you know, outside of the box, are definitely you have to understand where your deck fits into a metagame because you know there's a lot of people that do a lot of research on different decks and how you know you can generally look at this match versus that match and how that works. Well, if you can focus your testing and then find out how you can make your deck beat the top, I don't know, 10 decks maybe in Modern, you know, like maybe look at the top 10. But mostly you have to play a lot of games and understand the interactions with what you're trying to do because there's so many decks in Modern that you and Legacy that you really have to know how your deck fights in each deck and against each deck. And which the most important thing is always having a plan. So
Yeah,
play
you
the
have to have
different
a plan.
matches. Yeah, play against every single thing. And then so and to the point that if before the event someone asks you, well, how do you beat, you hear this question all the time. I'm sure you heard it plenty. Oh, well, how do you beat this? And you know, most people give this one answer of this 3 cards. You know, these 3 cards are great. You know, oh, I got a braid, so you know this match is going to be hard. But really, they don't explain. You need to be able to explain your entire plan on the way you see the game playing out. It's like I'm going to add these lands to my deck, so I'm going to where I don't get mana shorted, and I'm going to board into these extra mana cost cards. And the plan is going to be that you know I'm going to go long here. And it's going to be cool because they're going to top out at the 4-drop, but we're going on the 5-drop, you know, for instance, you know, something like that. So make sure you always have a plan for every match from beginning to end, how you're going to do it. And it's going to take a lot of plan. I mean, I've been playing for a long time, but if you're doing your own brew, start with the top 10 decks. Make sure you can beat like the top 3, you know, your affinities, your Juns, or if you can't beat them, at least know your game plan against them so that whenever you get in a game, you can actually navigate through it. And again, you will be coming from the advantage being the brewer of playing something that people aren't used to because people just jam against, you know, the same decks all the time. You catch people off guard seriously just by, you know, having 1 or 2 different cards that they haven't seen.
Think.
Oh, yeah. Whenever what I love, Trav, you play a card, you know.
They read it.
Oh, yeah, they pick it up and read it, and it's like every time, you know, me, I'm loud, Trav. I'm like, we got to read it, boys.
Yeah, we have a reader.
We have a reader.
He's reading it.
You got to read it.
Just get the troll in right there.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I played that bottle cloister, and they picked it up and read it every round.
Yes.
It's like, oh, man, I played this card in Legacy like 4 years ago. You don't know about this one? This one's sweet.
That's a great standard card.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, so grow your knowledge because then you could also find, you know, what cards might work in your strategy that you're trying to make work too. So, you know, I'm not, you know, you have to network, you know, get on the forums. You know, if you're getting on Legacy, you go to MTG The Source, you know, they have a thread for every deck, you know, join a group, a playtest group, you know, check out the mastermind, you know, we're doing it. And you know, you can't do it all by yourself because there's too much. There's too much to learn.
way too much.
It's way too much. And I've done a lot on my own. I've always been kind of a lone wolf kind of personality growing up. But, you really can't do it on your own. And
Yeah.
you
I
got to
did
count on
some of it
somebody at
on
some
my
point.
own. Like, a living end was like secretive solo testing. But,
Yeah.
that can possibly get you onto the Pro Tour, but you won't win on the Pro Tour that way. Like, I had mediocre results for years. It wasn't until I really started to openly share what I was working on and network a bunch that I started to have good results on the Pro Tour.
On the Pro Tour, yeah. Yeah, I actually, at Grand Prix or Pro Tour San Juan, I remember I brewed up the best performing deck of that Pro Tour, which is Zendikar block. Just, the night before, just something that I saw. I played against somebody and lost to them, and I was like, man, I try to, reverse engineer their deck list before the Pro Tour.
Green deck?
It was a blue-black control. It was with Jace, and you had the Tar Pits and the Tectonic Edge, and everybody was playing blue-white. It was a 3-deck format. So that's an easier format to tackle because there's less decks.
Side note, I think the best performing deck was the mono green Wolfbriar Elemental Beastmaster Ascension.
That deck was good.
Splashing blue. Some of them splash blue for Jace.
For Jace, yeah. They played the Cobras. That was the That was the I forget what team was playing that deck. That was Brad Nelson and I think Tom Ross was playing that deck.
Noah Schwartz top-aided with one of them. Yeah, there was actually a bunch of pros. I was actually 7-1 in day one, like up near pole position, and then day two I finally got matched up versus the actual teams. Like day one, I had this like green-red land destruction deck that I was playing, a bunch of dragons and Vengevines. And I was just wrecking scrubs day one, but day two got paired against the real teams and got bounced out. So that was a lesson for me, for sure. It's like you have to have a good team to do well.
Especially when you have to also focus on draft as well. Like I'm a little soft on limited formats right now. But before a Pro Tour, you get some extra knowledge in that. You learn a lot more from other people for sure. That's what caught me off guard on that. Tour is I spent all the time on Constructed, and I couldn't figure out how to Rise of Eldrazi draft. I couldn't figure it out for myself. It's not that I'm not good at draft, but I just kept drafting that format. Some formats you get into and you just takes a longer. The learning curve is a lot harder for your play style, and I could never really figure that draft format out.
But, I love that draft format. Oh my god, so many cool things you could do.
You have to teach me about it one day because I was terrible. I went like 2-1. 1-2 in the first draft, and I had to win the last round.
I 3-0'd some really important. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I 5-1. I 3-0'd my pod, that featured pod that had Tibbler and Jerry Thompson and Darwin Castle. With this blue-white level-up deck. I didn't play my first 5 picks, just wrong colors. Picked up on the wheel and moved in. But, I won some big matches with that because I requalified based on rating, winning some locals legitimately. And, I remember this 3-0. But
mine was 1-2, 1-2.
Creatureless deck, like Surreal Memoir, like Rebound, Grixis Rebound.
Oh, nice.
Everything. Like pick up Prophetic Prisms and splash, like maybe you get like a Gideon or one Ulamog or like one Ulamog Crusher.
That sounds great.
A bunch of counters.
Sounds great.
Or like you kill them with the walls, like Vent Sentinel and Mnemonic Wall is your win con.
Mnemonic Wall, that's right.
That deck
that format was something.
Yeah.
But I ended up top 15 in that Pro Tour, which kept me for the next one, and then it was like, man, I got this dream, and
that's awesome.
Kind of never gave it up. Yeah, even despite 2 1-2s, that deck carried me. That constructed deck.
Yeah, keep it alive. All right, so we're both trying to get to sleep. A lot of information. For those of you listening, if you enjoyed this collab, we could do more. It seems like we've got a lot more we could talk about. Obviously, those of you who are interested in the mastermind, there'll be a link up for that. For those of you who would like to follow Jody, what's the best way to do that?
The best way is to get on Twitter at JODY MF Keith. announce all my YouTube videos and my streams on there. You could also get on the Twitch and check out Nola Gold on Twitch or YouTube. You can search up Nola Gold, youtube.com/Nola Gold.
Nola Gold.
Yeah, Nola Gold is kind of my tag on everything.
What does that mean? Where did that come from?
Oh yeah, Nola. Nola is shorthand for New Orleans, Louisiana. Gold is a mineral. So,
sure.
There you go. I'm going for the gold, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine.
Danced around trying to schedule this all day, but glad we got it in.
Yeah, we got it in, and welcome all the. Well, thanks for welcoming me in, and invite me in here so I can, maybe share some more experiences with, some of your already people following you, and come check out my YouTube. I got some pretty good stories. In my story time. I'm gonna have some more content up. It's all coming out here right now. So thanks for the networking. Of course.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to some collaboration in the future. Much love, everybody.
Yeah.
One love, good vibes.